You're all very welcome to the class this evening. The structure of the class will be similar as always. Opening Shavasana, warm up. For the standing asanas, there'll be a little bit of transitioning, so just be wary of that when I'm cueing. In the seated asanas, we'll be doing hips and hamstrings. Again, these can be quite deep and intense, so if at any time during the class it becomes too intense, you can always come into child's pose and just try and concentrate on following your breath. Always makes the hip openers a bit easier. So if you'd like to come into the opening Shavasana, lying back onto your mats, feet out to the edge of your mat, gently lie back, drawing your arms away from your body, with your palms facing upwards. Gently bring your eyes to close and arrive on your mat this evening. Letting go of your day. As you begin to follow your inhales and exhales, breathing into your belly, up into your chest, and on your exhales, relaxing your chest, relaxing your belly, as you completely empty your lungs. We'll integrate a count into the breath this evening to add control and length to your breathing. This evening, we'll be inhaling for 4, holding for 4, exhaling for 4, and holding for 4. The breath retentions will be a bit longer. You might find this challenging. Just do your best. The breath retention is very good to relax the nervous system. Exhale, completely emptying your lungs. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Continue with these cycles of breath, adding length and control to your breathing as you arrive on your mat for your practice. As we move into silence. Bring your awareness back to your body, wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes, moving your hands and feet. Gently move your head from side to side, waking up your neck, resting your head back at center, keeping your legs extended. Join your heels on your mat and reach your arms over your head, getting a full body stretch, pointing your toes, lengthening through your fingertips, and exhale, release. Gently bend your knees and roll over to your right hand side, making a cushion with your hand. And gently make your way to a comfortable seated position at the front of your mat. Keeping your eyes closed and drawing your hands together at heart center. Taking a moment to thank yourself for arriving on your mat this evening. You might want to take a moment to set an intention for your practice. Bowing your head towards your hands, open your eyes. Namaste. To begin today's warm-up, we're going to work into the wrists. So gently extend your arms straight out ahead of you and just make circular motions with your wrists, releasing any tension, connecting to your breath and the other direction, gradually making the circles wider. And exhale. You can release your hands back down. We're now going to come into eagle arms. So extend your arms straight out ahead of you and bend both your arms, hooking your right elbow underneath your left. Try and grab your thumb with your right hand. If not, just join your palms together and lift your elbows towards your head and push your forearms away from your body. Inhaling, lifting your elbows, and exhaling, pushing your forearms away from your body. Feeling a nice stretch to the back of your shoulders. Connecting to your breath. And exhale, release. This time, placing your left elbow under, right elbow over, and trying to join the backs of your palms. From here, lifting both your elbows towards your head and pushing your forearms away from your body. Connecting to your breath. Feeling a nice stretch on the back of your shoulders. And exhale, release. You can drop your hands back down. We're now going to come into a side bend. So place your right hand beside your right hip. Inhaling, raising your left arm over your head. And exhaling, folding out to the right. Keep your left sitting bone rooted on your mat as you reach out through your fingertips, spiraling your chest towards the sky. And inhale, gently come up, dropping your left hand beside your left hip. Inhaling, raising your right arm, reaching out through your fingertips. And exhale, folding out to the left. Opening your chest towards the sky. Keeping your right sitting bone rooted on your mat. Connecting to your breath. And inhale, gently drop your right hand back down. We're now going to move into a spinal twist. So placing your right hand behind your back, place your left arm across your right knee. On an inhale, extending your spine. And exhale, twisting out to the right. On your inhales, extend. Exhales, twist. You can gently look over your right shoulder, feeling a nice twist to your spine. And gently make your way back to center. This time, placing your left hand behind your back. Place your right arm across your left knee. On an inhale, extending your spine. And exhale, twisting out to the left. On your inhales, extending. And your exhales, twist. You can gently look over your left shoulder, connecting to your breath. And gently make your way back to center. From here, uncross your legs and sweep your legs behind you, coming into tabletop position. Your knees are under your hips with the palms of your hands at the front of your mat. We're just going to come into a cat-cow. So on an inhale, dropping your belly, lifting your tailbone, opening your chest. Exhale, spine up as you roll vertebrae by vertebrae, dropping your chin towards your chest. Imagining you're pushing the floor away from you. On an inhale, dropping your belly, lifting your tailbone, opening your chest. And exhale, spine up as you drop your tailbone, rolling each vertebrae as you draw your chin towards your chest, connecting to your breath, and gently make your way back to a neutral spine. From here, we're going to warm up the hips. So keeping your left knee on your mat, lift your right knee and bend your knee, making circles with your knee, gradually making the circles wider, connecting to your breath, and the other direction. Gradual controlled circles. And exhale, you can release your knee back down. Repeating that on the left side as you lift your left knee off your mat and make circular motions with your knee as you work into your hips. And the other direction, gradually making the circles wider. And exhale, you can release your knee back down, coming into extended child's pose as you join your big toes on your mat and shift your knees out to the edge of your mat, sitting your bum towards your heels as you reach your arms out ahead and melt your chest and forehead towards your mat. Engaging your fingertips on your mat and at the same time sitting your bum towards your heels, connecting to your breath. And gently making your way back up to tabletop. And from tabletop, tuck your toes and keeping your knees bent, lift your hips, coming into downward facing dog. Pedaling your feet gently to stretch out your calves and your hamstrings as you lift your sit bones towards the ceiling, connecting to your breath. Gently walk your feet towards your hands at the front of your mat and keeping your knees bent, fold over your knees, grabbing opposite elbows with your hands, allowing your elbows and head to become heavy feeling a nice release on your lower back. And gently pressing through your feet to make your way to a standing position at the front of your mat as we prepare for the sun salutations. Starting with sun salutation A. In mountain pose, your feet are together, quadriceps engaged, standing tall. On an inhale, raise your arms, reaching out through your fingertips. Exhale, fold forward over your knees. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthening your spine, opening your chest. Exhale, palms down, step your left and right foot back. Lower your knees and keeping your hips in the air, lower your chest and chin towards your mat. On an inhale, slide your chest forward, keeping your elbows bent, low cobra. And exhale, moving through tabletop and tucking your toes to lift your hips, coming into downward facing dog. Lifting your sit bones towards the ceiling, distributing the weight evenly between your hands and your feet, connecting to your breath. On an inhale, step your right and left foot forward to the front of your mat, coming into a halfway lift, lengthening your spine through the crown of your head. Exhale, fold forward over your knees. Inhale, raise your arms, reaching out through your fingertips. And exhale, you can release your hands back down. Take a deep breath. Connecting to your breath here as we prepare for another round of sun salutation A. Standing tall, energy through the crown of your head. On an inhale, raise your arms, joining your palms above your head, looking towards your thumbs. Exhale, fold forward over your knees. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthening your spine, opening your chest. Exhale, palms down. You can step or jump your feet back. Bending your elbows, chaturanga. On an inhale, opening your chest, upward facing dog. And exhale, lifting your hips, downward facing dog. Connecting to your breath here as you draw your heels closer towards your mat and engage your fingertips on your mat. On an inhale, step your right and left foot forward to the front of your mat, coming into a halfway lift, lengthening your spine, opening your chest. Exhale, fold forward over your knees. Inhale, raise your arms, joining your palms above your head, looking towards your thumbs. And exhale, you can release your hands back down. Take a deep breath. Connecting to your breath here as we prepare for sun salutation B. Inhale, bend your knees, sweep your fingers along your mat, raising your arms, coming into chair pose. Exhale, fold forward over your knees. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthening your spine, opening your chest. Exhale, palms down. You can step or jump your feet back. Bending your elbows, chaturanga. On an inhale, opening your chest, upward facing dog. And exhale, lifting your hips, downward facing dog. Connecting to your breath. On an inhale, step your right foot between your palms at the front of your mat. Your right ankle and knee is in line. Your left leg is straight and engaged. As you raise your arms, coming into warrior one. Imagining your inner thighs are hugging together. As you reach out through your fingertips. Exhale, release your palms back down to your mat. Step your right foot back to meet your left foot. Bending your elbows, chaturanga. On an inhale, opening your chest, upward facing dog. And exhale, lifting your hips, downward facing dog. Connecting to your breath here. On an inhale, step your left foot between your palms at the front of your mat. Your left ankle and knee is in line. Your right leg is straight and engaged. As you inhale, raise your arms, coming into warrior one. Pressing down into both your feet. As you reach out through your fingertips. Connecting to your breath. As you exhale, release your palms back down to your mat. Step your left foot back to meet your right foot. Bending your elbows, chaturanga. On an inhale, opening your chest, upward facing dog. And exhale, lifting your hips, downward facing dog. Staying here for 5 breaths. As you lift your sit bones towards the ceiling. Distributing the weight evenly between your hands and your feet. On an inhale, step your right and left foot forward to the front of your mat, coming into a halfway lift, lengthening your spine, opening your chest. Exhale, fold forward over your knees. Inhale, bend your knees, sweep your fingers along your mat, raising your arms, coming into chair pose. And exhale, release, making your way to a standing position at the front of your mat. Take a couple of deep breaths. And whilst you're doing that, you can move your mats or your cameras, as I'll be cueing the standing asanas from here. And when you're ready, make your way to a wide-legged stance on your mat with your feet facing forward. We'll be doing transitioning between postures today. So starting off with warrior two, turning your right foot out 90 degrees, your left foot slightly in 5 degrees, bending into that right knee so your ankle and knee is in line. Your torso is facing me. As you raise your arms to shoulder level, turn your head to focus your gaze over your right middle finger. Pressing down into both your feet as you reach out through both sets of fingertips. Connecting to your breath. On an inhale, drop that left hand to your back leg and keeping your front knee bent, raise your right arm, coming into peaceful warrior. Again, pressing down into both your feet, your foundation, as you reach out through your right fingertips, connecting to your breath. On an exhale, release that right forearm to your right knee. And on an inhale, raise that left arm over your head, reaching out through your fingertips as you spiral your chest towards the sky, pressing down into both your feet, connecting to your breath. And inhale, gently come up, turning that right heel in. Take a deep breath. We'll repeat that sequence on the other side. So this time, turning your left heel out 90 degrees, your right heel in 5 degrees, bending into that left knee so your ankle and knee is in line. Your torso is facing me. Raise your arms to shoulder level and turn your head to focus your gaze over your left middle finger, pressing down into both your feet and reaching out through your fingertips, connecting to your breath. On an exhale, drop that right hand to your back leg and keeping your front knee bent, raise your left arm, coming into peaceful warrior, reaching out through your left fingertips as you press down into both your feet. On an exhale, release that left hand, left forearm to your front knee and raise your right arm over your head as you spiral your chest towards the sky, reaching out through your right fingertips, pressing down into both your feet, connecting to your breath, and inhale, gently come up, turning that left heel in. Take a couple of deep breaths. We're now going to move into triangle pose on the right side. So turning your right heel out 90 degrees, keeping that right leg straight as possible. Raising your arms to shoulder level, pressing down into both your feet, your foundation. On an inhale, leaning out your right hand side, reaching out through your fingertips, and exhale, fold over your right leg, placing your hand on your knee, shin, or ankle, and opening your heart towards the sky, pressing down into both your feet, reaching out through your left fingertips, connecting to your breath, and inhale, gently come up, turning that right heel in. Take a deep breath. We'll repeat triangle pose on the other side. So turning your left heel out 90 degrees, keeping that left leg as straight as possible, pressing down into both your feet, raise your arms to shoulder level. On an inhale, leaning out your left hand side, reaching out through your fingertips, and exhale, fold over your left knee, placing your hand on your knee, shin, or ankle, and twisting your torso towards the sky, pressing down into both your feet, connecting to your breath, and inhale, gently come up, turning that left heel in. You can now join your feet together. Try and connect to your breath. Regulate your breathing. As we move into tree pose. So grounding down into your right foot, you can lift your left heel, placing it above your right ankle, opening out that left hip. or pick a spot on the wall for balance. Controlled. Place that left heel at the inner side of your right thigh. From here, you can place your hands together at heart center or raise your arms over your head. In whichever version you're in, grounding down into that right foot and pressing that left heel against the inner side of your right thigh as you lift out of your hips and energy through the crown of your head. Connecting to your breath. And exhale, releasing your hands, closing that left hip gently and extending your left leg. We'll repeat tree pose on the other side. So this time, grounding down into your left foot, you can place your right heel above your left ankle or pick a spot on the wall for balance and lift that right heel, placing it against the inner side of your left thigh, opening out that right hip. You can have your hands together at heart center or raise your arms over your head. In whichever version you're in, making sure you're pressing that right heel against the inner side of your left thigh, lifting out of your hips and energy through the crown of your head. Connect to your breath. And exhale, release, closing that right hip, extending your right leg. You can now move your mats or your cameras to how they were at the start of class. And when you're ready, make your way to mountain pose at the front of your mat. Standing tall. Connect to your breath. On an inhale, bend your knees, sweep your fingers along your mat, raising your arms, coming into chair pose, pressing your knees together and dropping your tailbone as you reach out through your fingertips. Exhale, fold forward over your knees. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthening your spine, opening your chest. Exhale, palms down, stepping both your feet back. Bending your elbows, chaturanga. On an inhale, opening your chest, upward facing dog. And exhale, lifting your hips, downward facing dog. Connecting to your breath here. On an inhale, step your right foot between your palms at the front of your mat. Your right ankle and knee is in line. Your left leg is straight and engaged. From here, drawing your hands together at heart center. Hook your left elbow across your right knee, coming into a twist. Keeping that left leg engaged and drawing your belly button towards your spine to engage your core. And exhale, release. Framing your right foot with your hands. Step your right foot back to meet your left foot and lift your hips, coming back into downward facing dog. Connecting to your breath. On an inhale, stepping your left foot between your palms at the front of your mat. Your left ankle and knee is in line. Your right leg is straight and engaged. From here, drawing your hands together at heart center and hooking your right elbow across your left knee, coming into a twist, keeping that right leg straight and engaged, and drawing your belly button towards your spine to engage your core. And exhale, release, framing your left foot with your hands. Step your left foot back to meet your right foot, dropping your knees, coming into tabletop, and from tabletop, shifting your knees out to the edge of your mat as you make your way to extended child's pose. Feeling a nice opening on your hips, an extension to your spine. Using this posture to connect to your breath. Lengthening your inhales, lengthening your exhales. When you're ready, make your way to a seated position on your mat, extending your legs straight out in front of you. As we move into the first of the hip openers, so bending both your knees, drawing your heels towards your sit bones. From here, allow both your knees to fall out to the side. You can shuffle your heels, bringing them closer towards your sit bones. From here, placing the palms of your hands on the outer edge of your feet. On your inhale, open your chest. You can stay here, or exhale, folding forward, allowing your chest to draw towards the mat. Focusing on softening your upper thighs, allowing your knees to fall out to the side. Follow your breath. And on an inhale, gently come up, placing your knees together. And from here, sweep your legs behind you as you make your way to tabletop. From tabletop, we're going to step our right foot between our palms at the front of our mat and allow your left leg to extend straight out behind you as we come into a lunge position. On an inhale, raise your arms, reaching out through your fingertips, engaging the top of your left foot and your left knee on your mat as you sink down into your hips and reach out through your fingertips. From here, there's the option to bend that left knee and draw your foot towards your sit bone. You can place your hand on the outer edge of your left foot and draw towards your bum. In whichever version you're in, soften your hips and just connect to your breath. On an exhale, release that knee back down to your mat, your foot back down to your mat, and frame your right foot with your hands, walking your hands back towards your hips. Lift your hips to allow that right leg to straighten, focusing on lifting up through your hips. Naturally, your leg will straighten, and allow your toes to flex towards your shins. As you fold forward over that right knee, Engaging your left knee on your mat to ensure you're not collapsing, and lifting your hips. Connect to your breath as you bend into that right knee again, coming back into a lunge, and from here drawing your hands together at heart center and hooking that left elbow across your right knee, coming into a twist. Drawing your belly button towards your spine to engage your core as you engage your left knee and the top of your left foot on your mat, connecting to your breath. And exhale, release, framing your right foot with your hands. Step your right knee back to meet your left knee, coming back into tabletop. Making any movements you feel necessary, just to loosen out the hips. And connecting to your breath. As you inhale, step that left foot between your palms at the front of your mat, allowing your right leg to extend straight out behind you, resting the top of your right foot and your right knee on your mat. On an inhale, raising your arms, coming into a low lunge, reaching out through your fingertips as you engage your right knee and the top of your right foot on your mat, connecting to your breath. From here, there's the option to bend into that right knee and draw your heel towards your sit bone. You can grab the outer edge of your right foot with your hand, just making sure your hips are square to the front of the room. As you sink down into your hips, connecting to your breath, gently you can drop that foot back down and frame your left foot with your hands. Again, from here, focus on lifting your hips. And as you lift your hips, your left foot, your left leg will naturally straighten, walking your hands towards your hips and flexing your left toes towards your shin. Fold over that left knee, feeling a nice stretch on your left hamstring. Engaging that right knee on your mat to ensure you're not collapsing. As you lift your hips, on an exhale, bend into that left knee, coming back into a lunge. And from here, drawing your hands together at heart center, hook your right elbow across your left knee, coming into a twist. Engaging your right knee and the top of your right foot on your mat as you draw your belly button towards your spine to engage your core. Connecting to your breath. And exhale, release, framing your left foot with your hands. Step your left foot back to meet your right foot, coming back into tabletop. Taking a couple of deep breaths here. We're now going to move into lizard pose. So this time, stepping your right foot outside your right hand at the front of your mat. Allowing that left leg to lengthen straight out behind you. Keeping integrity in your spine, you can stay here with the palms of your hands flat on your mat and energy through the crown of your head. There's also the option to come onto your forearms Or you can use your right hand to push your right knee out to the side to intensify the stretch. In whichever version you're in, focusing on softening, trying to relax your hips. The muscles will stretch when they're relaxed. Connecting to your breath. And inhale, gently come up, stepping that right foot back to meet your left foot, coming back into tabletop. Connecting to your breath and stepping your left foot outside your left hand at the front of your mat, allowing your right leg to extend straight out behind you with the top of your right knee and your right foot resting on your mat. Again, you can remain on the palms of your hands, or you can drop your forearms towards your mat. There's also the option to use your left hand to push your left knee out to the side to intensify the stretch. In whichever version you're in, just connect to your breath. Again, focusing on softening your hips, allowing them to open up. And on an inhale, gently come up and step that left foot back to meet your right foot. Again, connecting to your breath. We'll now move into the final hip opener, pigeon pose. So this time, stepping your right knee behind your right wrist, which allows your right foot to draw towards your left hip. Softening your hips. And you can, from here, come onto your forearms. Softening your hips as you connect to your breath. Feeling a nice stretch on the outer edge of your right hip. Lengthen your inhales and exhales. And on an inhale, gently press through your hands and release that right knee to bring it back into tabletop. Repeating pigeon pose on the left side, step your left knee behind your left wrist, allowing your left foot to draw towards your right hip, extending that left leg straight behind you with the top of your left foot and the top of your right foot and your right knee resting on your mat. You can stay on your forearms here or lower towards your hands. Softening your left hip. Connecting to your breath. Softening your jaw. And on an inhale, pressing through your hands and drawing your left knee back to meet your right knee. From here, make your way to a standing position on your mat. You may feel a bit funny after all the hip openers. Make any movements in your legs that might feel nice. And from here, we'll test the hip openers by going into squat pose, just seeing how much depth you can get. Stepping your feet hip distance apart. There's the option to turn your feet out a little bit between 45 and 60 degrees. And from here, in a very controlled manner, bend your knees and sit your bum towards your heels. You can lift your heels for stability, but try and aim to draw your heels towards your mat, keeping integrity in your spine by keeping your chest open towards me. You can use your elbows to push your knees apart and pressing your knees back into your elbows just to increase the engagement in your hips. Connect to your breath here. And on an inhale, pressing through your feet to make your way back to a standing position. From here, make your way to a seated position on your mat as we move into shoulder stand. Lying back onto your mat, there's also always the option to hug your knees towards your chest. You might want to do that for a couple of breaths anyway. It's a nice release after all the hip openers. And from here, you can make your way to shoulder stand, rolling back onto your shoulders and lifting your feet towards the ceiling as you point your toes and connect to your breath. Try and draw inwards here, just following your inhales and exhales. Connecting to your breath here, and there's the option to drop your feet in behind your head, coming into Halasana. If your feet are still in the air, keep your hands on your lower back for support. You can also drop your feet to the floor and interlock your fingers as you press your hands away from your body. Just connect to your breath here. And gently bend your knees and roll vertebrae by vertebrae, dropping your hips and feet back down to your mat. We're now going to move into happy baby pose. Just a nice release on the hips after all the hip openers. So lying down on your mat, you can draw your knees towards your armpits. And from here, you can grab the outer edge of both your feet. Again, pressing your knees towards your armpits. Connecting to your breath. Feeling a nice release on your hips. And from here, you can gently release as you prepare for the closing Shavasana. Extending your legs, allowing your feet to draw towards the edge of your mat. Lying back, drawing your arms away from your body with your palms facing upwards. Gently bring your eyes to close. Relaxing your entire body on your mat. Preparing for the most important posture of class. I will now guide you through the closing Shavasana. Relax your toes. Relax the soles of your feet, your heels. Relax your ankles, calves, the backs of your knees. Relax your hamstrings. Relax your hips, feeling them open out like a book. Relax your abdomen. Relax your chest. Relax your lower back, moving your way up through each vertebrae, through your middle back, towards your upper back, relaxing your neck. Relax your fingertips. Relax the palms of your hands, your wrists. Relax your forearms, your elbows. Relax your upper arms as you soften the top of your shoulders. Relax your jaw. Relax your tongue, feeling your tongue draw away from the roof of your mouth. Soften your lips, feeling them slightly part. Relax your eyes, feeling them draw towards the back of your head. Soften your eyebrows. Relax the space between your eyebrows. Soften your forehead, the seat of your mind. Relax every single hair on the top of your head. Relax your entire body, feeling the support of the earth beneath you. Relax, relax, relax. We will now move into silence for 5 minutes. During this 5 minutes, the mind will naturally wander. Just be aware of the mind wandering, and without judgment, move back to your breath. following your inhales and exhales as we move into silence. Bring your awareness back to your body, wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes, moving your hands and feet. Gently move your head from side to side, waking up your neck. Resting your head back at center. Keeping your legs extended. Join your heels on your mat. And reach your arms over your head, getting a full body stretch. And exhale, release. Gently bend your knees and roll over to your right hand side, making a cushion with your hand. From here, keeping your eyes closed, make your way to a comfortable seated position at the front of your mat. Drawing your hands together at heart center. Thanking yourself for arriving on your mat this evening. Taking this time for yourself. Looking back to the intention you set at the start of class. And realizing everything else you've achieved in the last hour. As you rub your hands together, creating heat, creating energy. Place your hands over your eyes. As you blink your eyes open to the darkness of your palms, draw your hands away from your eyes, bow your head. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.